Do you think your dogs are ready for this kind of fame?
I think they are. I think they are.
Misty and Max get their day in the spotlight. The canine cover shoot that's doggone glamorous. Plus,
since I'm not a judge, and I can have some favorites.
a bachelorette turned designer doles out expert advice to some of the Northwest's top fashion phenoms. Then,
Okay, go ahead and take your blindfold off there.
What? This is my room. It looks so clean.
it's makeover magic as we transform a local student's dorm room from drab to fab. Seattle Refined starts now.
Welcome to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. In the fashion industry, September is one of the biggest months of the year, mostly because it's when all the fashion magazines unveil the new styles for the up-and-coming fall season.
It's such a phenomenon that there was even a 2009 documentary about it that went behind the scenes at Vogue, featuring the Devil in Prada herself, editor-in-chief Anna Wintour. Now it's no joke that the Refined team loves fashion, but there's another magazine whose September issue we're even more excited about. It's called City Dog, and Refined's John Prentice got this exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the cover shoot that everyone's going doggone crazy for.
This is Missy, and this is Max.
Do you think your dogs are ready for this kind of fame?
I think they are. I think they are.
Missy and Max are ready for their close-up to be featured on the cover of City Dog magazine. Julie Austin is the photographer of the stars with 4 paws and says these pooches are looking good today.
The secret to posing pets is finding out what motivates them, treats for dogs or toys for cats. I've been photographing for about 12 years now, professionally. The absolute best job in the world, hands down. I get to play with dogs all day and horses and cats and super nice people and lovely locations. It doesn't get much better than this.
Brandy Aldrin is the founder of City Dog magazine.
We launched in 2005, so we've been in Seattle area for 12 years, actually.
She says she created City Dog as a way for dog lovers to learn about and share all the great things to do with their pets in the Pacific Northwest. And she's happy to have Max and Missy on the cover.
Every cover and every dog has its own unique personality. I don't really have a favorite because they're all fantastic.
Yeah, she does.
Well, my dog, of course.
And these canines aren't working it for free. They're raising money for a good cause.
I went to Texas and Tails, which is the auction for Seattle Humane, and we bid on the cover for my dogs. Seattle Humane, for one, I'm on the board. This is the only way for these dogs to get a home, and cats, and it's a no-kill shelter, and they're there as long until they can find their forever home. Come here, Missy, come up here.
The winning bid, $10,000. Money Darrell says will help homeless pups find the love they deserve, just like Missy and Max.
How much do you love your dogs?
Well, as much as my daughter.
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
To learn more about that story or watch it again, log on to our website.
From the doghouse to the catwalk, some up-and-coming designers are getting ready for one of the biggest fashion competitions in the Northwest. We're talking about the Independent Designer Runway Show at our sponsor Fashion Week at the Bellevue Collection. And this year, Seattle Refined has a front row seat to all the action leading up to this one-of-a-kind event.
This is my inspiration.
I do a lot of hand dyeing. Nice long gowns that hook right here.
It looks like scales of fish.
The bodysuit.
The Independent Designer Runway Show is a big deal at Bellevue Fashion Week. Not only will 7 up-and-coming designers show off their collections, but they'll get guidance along the way from top fashion experts.
So if you're going to be a women's and a men's designer, with the same emphasis.
Everything from concept to color.
Your illustrations are amazing.
All of it and kind of put it all together and go on. This is my concept of all these different travels.
I like it with the pinks and the whites.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seattle Refined also has our own fashion correspondent who's behind the scenes to give us the lowdown on the designers.
And then if you pleat it, you would see both the materials.
Desiree Hartsock Siegfried is a former Bachelorette contestant turned fashion designer and blogger.
Since I'm not a judge, and I can have some favorites. I love that Megan is edgy, she's different, and her stuff stands out. I think one of Megan's challenges is going to be Taking the panel's advice, but still staying true to who she is. Paloma has such passion, and the way she thinks through the concept. Oh my gosh, Maria, I just want her to like be around me at all times because her energy is so amazing.
The energy is up, but the pressure is on. The winner gets $5,000 and will have their looks displayed at Bellevue Square. No one knows what they're going through more than last year's winner, Devin. We checked in with Devin to see how life's changed over last year.
For me, it's kind of a huge deal. So that's why I think the competition did help me, not just only building my reputation for my design, my family as well. You know, they also giving them a lot of confidence, besides giving myself confidence for my art. From the very, very beginning, they don't really supporting for me to be an artist or a designer. And my mom saying, you know what? I come over to check out the show. I think I can tell, I can feel she actually really happy about, you know, that's a winning competition. And then right now, and she's very supportive, you know, also affecting to my dad as well. When he calling me on the telephone and she's saying, so how's your design doing? You know, and he never asked me that question.
Now Devin is full steam ahead, making custom gowns, working on a wearable art show, and debuting a new line at Bellevue Fashion Week.
So this is the new collection I'm working on. So like all this pleating texture skirt.
As for IDRS, he has some tips for this year's designers.
I don't want to BS about, oh, you just relax and, you know, enjoy what you're doing. You know, I mean, you're not going to be relaxed, I can tell you that.
The Independent Designer Runway Show is on September 21st during Bellevue Fashion Week at the Bellevue Collection. Seats are going fast. For ticket information and to learn more about the designers, head to SeattleRefined.com/IDRS. And while you're there, enter our Bellevue Fashion Week sweepstakes to get hooked up. The winner will get 2 tickets to IDRS, a one-night stay at the W Bellevue Hotel, plus gift certificates to True Spa and Hapanessa Restaurant. Again, head to SeattleRefined.com/IDRS for all the deets. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
If you don't like chicken waffles, then probably a curmudgeon who doesn't like a lot of things.
We celebrate National Waffle Day by adding some poultry to the plate. But first,
we're kind of all over the map at this point, and there's no telling where we're going to go from here.
One of the Northwest's favorite brews branches out. Find out what Mac and Jack's is up to now. Ready for a trip in the Wayback Machine? Check out these amazing pictures of the Pike Place Market through the years on SeattleRefined.com. From the early 1900s to the 1970s, it's fun to see how the market and Seattleites have changed over the years. Check it out on the website.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. Our sponsors, Mac and Jack's Brewing Company, may not have a long history here in the Northwest as others in the market, but they are getting there. The local brewer is a Northwest fixture at bars and restaurants, and now they're trying something very new and exciting.
If you're a beer lover, especially here in the Northwest, there's no doubt you've sipped on a pint of Mac and Jack's.
Mac and Jack's started back in '93, and our draft culture is what people love and what our customers want.
But did you know Mac and Jack started with just that? Mac and Jack? 2 men who became best buds over a love for, not beer, but boats.
Jack was working on wood boats, Mac was working for Starbucks.
But when Mac needed someone to help him fix his old boat, he met Jack in the late 80s, and they brewed up a fast friendship over their love for a cold one.
They had a great idea, let's start a brewery. They started in Jack's garage.
That was 1993, when Mac and Jack produced just a keg or 2 a day. Just a few short years later, they outgrew Jack's garage and moved into this machine shop in Redmond. They had no way of knowing that they'd soon be one of the largest breweries in the state. Who'd thunk it?
It's kind of cool to see almost like a giant homebrew scale condensed into here and how much output we can put just out of this one location. So I think it's kind of fun.
Draped over your red, we've got about 15 employees total. We're still just a small 2 guys own this place still, and that's where we still stand.
Mac and Jack sells more of its African amber on draft in the Seattle area than anyone else, including Budweiser.
The interesting thing is the African amber, which is our flagship beer, was not supposed to be the flagship beer, and people loved it, and that's where it went.
As the beer industry has changed, So is Mac and Jack's.
We are doing our first ever canning run, actually. It's a pretty new thing, pretty exciting.
Also for the first time, Mac and Jack's is teaming up with another brewery, and they've created a beer they call, you say old, I say new.
We're going to be doing a limited run of a collaboration beer with Foggy Noggin. It's a English-style pale ale with American hops. First time we've ever canned anything on this scale. So 250 cases. We'll keep a couple here for retail sale, but most of it will be going out and hopefully gone real fast.
There's no telling where we're going to go from here.
One place we know for sure, stand up for the cure. Mac and Jack's is a beer sponsor at this Saturday's paddleboard event on Lake Sammamish, raising awareness in the fight against breast cancer.
We employ, cancer survivors here, and it's just nice to be able to give back as much as we can.
To learn more about Mac and Jack or watch that story again, check out our website. Coming up on Refined, it's back to the dorms for kids all across Western Washington. But before you move in, don't miss our back-to-school room makeover. We'll be right back, but first, check out our refined, shareable moment of the day.
Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Garth Swanson. It is back to school time across Western Washington, and for many college students, that means leaving home and being on their own for the very first time.
While some will move into frats and sororities, many more will move into the dorms. If you have ever lived in the dorms, you know it's a challenge to turn a tiny, cramped room into a home away from home. But as Seattle Refined's Malia Karlinski discovered, with the right help, it's not impossible.
Well, Lonnie, I really like your room. It's actually got a lot more space than I would imagine a dorm room would have. But obviously, you've got some challenges here.
Meet Lonnie Jones, a sophomore at Northwest University in Kirkland, where she's studying to be a midwife.
My passion in life is to help people.
She spends so much time helping others that she tends to put herself and her living space last.
Tell me about your closet.
All my stuff is literally out there for everyone to see,
Right.
the world to see. My shoes are laid out like they don't really have any organization right now. And
So you don't have room.
Yeah, don't have room
to organize things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lonnie's schedule is tight, and so is her budget.
I pay for college by having financial aid from the school, my mom helping me out, and working at a grocery store.
With her unpredictable hours, she relies a lot on frozen meals.
It's really small, if you can see how small our freezer is. Can't really put anything in there.
She doesn't have time or money to make her dorm room a home.
Do you feel like this space represents who you are?
No, I feel like it needs more pop, it needs to be brighter, it needs to just be Lonnie or something.
It needs to be Lonnie-er, I like that.
But Lonnie's life and her crowded space are about to get a whole lot better, thanks to the generosity of Lowe's. Let's begin with the basics. Better lighting with Lowe's home improvement guru, Jim Wilde.
So Jim, our student Lonnie only has overhead lighting in her dorm room, and sometimes she wants to study when her roommate's asleep, and that's a problem. You don't always think about floor lamps for students, but they're a great option, right?
They are a really great option, and we have a lot to choose from here at Lowe's. A lot of them are under $20.
Next up, getting a curtain for the closet and corralling that clutter.
You have different colors, different styles. We have over 400 to choose from here at Lowe's.
Hide the junk.
Hide the junk and make it look good. So we have closet organizers. These are great for shoes and clothes, and they're all under $10.
I'd love to see a rug in this dorm room because it's so just neutral in color.
We have a lot of colors to choose from that are vibrant, and we also have some narrow rugs that will fit inside a dorm perfectly.
Sure to make Lonnie's life easier, a spacious fridge.
This is the model. It is got a freezer that is big enough to hold a lot of fruit for the smoothies, and a big enough refrigerator to hold all kinds of milk and goodies.
Finally, that blank wall Lowe's has it covered.
What about a piece of plywood?
Oh, for sure. We have lots to choose from, and we have a panel saw that will do courtesy cuts for our customers.
Back in Lonnie's dorm room, it was time to transform her space.
There we go, we're getting it.
And show Lonnie her refreshed room.
Okay, go ahead and take your blindfold off there.
What? This is my room. It looks so clean and it looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys. This looks so good in here.
So we want to take you on a little mini tour and
Yeah.
show you some of the new stuff that we have going on here. So you remember your closet before was a little bit full, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was nothing kind of hiding everything. So, ta-da! Remember your shoe pile?
Now they're organized. Now I can find my ears.
We picked out one of the desk lamps, which will help for when you're doing your studies. And then we also had one of these more home decor type decorative lamps that will light up your whole dorm.
So excited. Tell me more.
So we chose a refrigerator that has plenty of space for milk, food.
Finally, food that I can eat.
So we took a piece of plywood and I spray painted it with chalkboard paint. And then Jim put some trim around it to make you a giant chalkboard.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Now you've seen it all. What do you think?
I really like it. Thank you guys so much. This is I really appreciate it.
To learn more about today's dorm makeover, log on to SeattleRefined.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Refined. Around the Refined offices, we are constantly paying homage to national days of observance. For instance, did you know today is actually National Maryland Day? All right, now it does get a little better. It's also National Waffle Day, which brings us to our next story, the search for the best chicken and waffles in the city.
There you go, one chicken and waffles.
If you have ever tried what some see as an unlikely pairing, you understand the appeal. And if you haven't, you're going to want to place your order after we show you some of Seattle's favorite hotspots for chicken and waffles. First up,
Local 360 chicken and waffles. All house made, all local, all fresh.
located in the heart of Belltown, Local 360 serves up its tried and true recipe 7 days a week.
Got our house-made waffle batter. Give that about 3 or 4 minutes. Turn it over, nice and golden brown. Makes a nice coating on there. Let it swim a little bit so it doesn't stick to the basket. And then let it go 8 to 10 minutes. While we're waiting for that, we have our pepper jelly, mixed pepper jelly. And it's half and half of this jelly and maple syrup.
Peppers? You heard right.
Oh, it's so good, yeah. The jelly does it though, that's what makes it different.
Next up, Fat's Chicken and Waffles in the Central District, where the chef has just one thing to say.
If you don't like chicken and waffles, then probably a curmudgeon who doesn't like a lot of things.
We tend to agree. And of course, we wanted to know more about what makes Fat's so delicious.
Our boneless, skinless chicken breast that's been marinating in buttermilk and dill pickle brine. And you know, we're not really trying to be like really fancy with ours. We use the skinny waffles, and I think the skinny waffles gives everybody like a little bit of nostalgia for growing up and stuff.
Fat's online reviews are so good, one couple drove from Portland and their first stop was for, you guessed it, chicken and waffles.
This place had the best review, so we just decided to give it a shot. We just got in town probably like 10 minutes ago too, so this is our first stop for the weekend adventure.
Over in Tangletown, Burgundian adds to the stiff competition by using a bourbon maple syrup. Plus, you can't go wrong with the vanilla apple butter and sausage gravy. Yum! It's time to sit down and eat. To learn more or watch that story again, log on to the website.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gart Swanson. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.